All right. It's the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host, Frank Monday. I have got a dry face this morning, man. I jumped up this morning and I realized I haven't put any cream on my face in days. So that's what we got going on this morning is dry face. The autumn is cool and dry. That is typically the climate here in Beijing. As a result, in the autumn time, you probably want to use some lotion. I like to use Vaseline. I think it's very lovely. But I just put some of my wife's cream on my face this morning, and I realized, wow, I got dry, scaly skin, man. I need a Frank Monday's natural soap facial. It's exfoliating. Good times. Welcome to the Live Drive Jive Archive. Broadcasting to you live from the capital of the Central Kingdom, Old Peking, as we shoot through the Central Business District, also known as Dabeiyao or Guomao. Another name is the CBD, what the local expats like to call it. The old Dakutar or Grand Underwear are off here to my right. I remember in 2009, this building was scheduled to open, I think, in 2007, but it didn't actually come online until 2011, so it was 5 years behind schedule. But the hotel they built behind it as a kind of foundational counterbalance, it caught on fire in 2009. According to the official narrative, it was because they were launching fireworks from the top of the building to, Chinese New Year. They like to do that. But I was actually in a taxi cab headed to a Monday night or Wednesday night, I can't remember, swing dance class at the Agricultural Center. There was a little bar at the Agricultural Center back in the day called the CD Jazz Cafe. And it was the first jazz bar in Beijing after the parting of the Bamboo Curtain. And I was friends with a guy who was also a Tsinghua. Tsinghua is one of the top universities here in China, in Peking. And he was also a student at Tsinghua University, but he taught a swing dance class that he actually started during SARS 1.0, so the first SARS, not what are we in now, SARS 5.0. Yeah, so get your voodoo needlecraft jibberty jab on. So I was in a cab with my wife. I think she was, we were married at that time. And we were headed to the swing dance class, which is something I really wanted her to participate in with me, was to learn swing dance. Lindy Hop is what the guy taught. Lindy Hop, Balboa, and Charleston are the three swing dances that were his forte. Mostly Lindy Hop, though. He liked Lindy Hop, and he liked the acrobatics of Lindy Hop. So Adam, if you're out there and you watch any of my videos, hello. He deleted me during the Great Purge of 2019 because I was a little bit vociferous of my support of a particular candidate. Anyway, back on point. So we were headed northbound on this highway right here, and we saw the glow up in the sky, orange glow, because it was nighttime, maybe think the class started at 7 or 8, so we were probably headed out at about 6:30 or 7, something like that. And folks were pulling off on the highway on the side of the road to stop and look, and they're getting out of their cars and looking, and he's like, what's going on? And so I was like, pull off and we'll take a picture. So the whole building was on fire coming out of the windows, so on and so forth. And yeah, so we stopped and I took a picture with I had a Sony, like one of those candy bar phones with a really bad camera, you know, like super low resolution. And so I took a few pictures, maybe 5 or 10, I don't know. But I ended up losing that phone later on, and so I have no record of those pictures. But I was there, I watched that motherfucker burn. And I remember when I got back in the car, I was singing the song, the roach is on the wall. We don't need no raid, let the motherfucker crawl. Crawl, motherfucker, crawl. Yeah, so I thought it was, you know, good fun. Obviously, it's unfortunate whenever some tragedy strikes. We didn't know how the fire started at the time, but you know, we were right there in time to see it, right place at the right time. Supposedly, I think 1 or 2 persons were injured or killed in that fire due to asphyxiation or death by being burned alive. So I kind of thought of it as their opening ritual sacrifice, little Burning Man ceremony to christen the building. So that's a good old tale about one of the most iconic buildings in the world now. Straight from Frank Monday on a live drive jive on a Wednesday, coming at ya. Mercury retrograde, Sun in Libra, Moon in Capricorn. It is the 8th day or the 2nd quarter of the 9th lunar month, 13th of October 2021. I think everyone knows what that means. This is well, it's not a Friday, so, but still, 13th of October is Night of the Templars. This would be the Friday morning in, was it 1214 AD, when the French Pope, I forget his name, Francis something, I don't want to be associated with that motherfucker, but he sent out the kind of the Inquisition, the First Inquisition, to round up the Templar Knights and put them to death for heresy, which were all trumped up charges, all BS charges. Anyway, so we take a moment to remember our beloved brothers, clerics and paladins of old, the old Templar Knights, mostly Germanic, I believe, later to manifest into the Lutheran and Mormon churches. I suspect are the inheritors of a lot of the Templar legacy. Man, the time goes quick first thing in the morning when you're on the live drive jive archive with Frank Monday. I remind you to like and subscribe, put something down in the comment box. I was listening to, and I recommend it to you, but I was listening to Through the Gates of the Silver Key by H.P. Lovecraft last night. There is, I'll put a link on this description one of a really good reading of it by Bronson something or other. The details will be in the link. But I've studied that one for over a decade now. And when I say study, I mean I've listened to it on loop hundreds of times. Randolph Carter discovers a silver key in a grotesquely carved wooden box left behind by his uncle Christopher in the attic of his old house in the countryside. So he discovers this silver key when he's a boy. And what was this silver key in his shirt pocket? Where the telescope, not telescope, but what's the little pirate scope that you have? Is it a telescope? Uniscope? Periscope? Given to him by his father on his 9th birthday. Should have been. So he takes the silver key and goes into a cavern, the Snake Den. I'll not tell you the whole thing. Get in there and listen to it. It's an alchemical text about passing through the first gate into the astral realm. I'll let you figure it out on your own, but it's well worth a good listen and a good study. I'm actually going to sit down at some point soon and break it apart and make some commentary on it, because I think it's a valuable text. It's instructions in narrative form on how to get in and out of the higher realms of the astral. It'll take you from low, middle to high and into even the celestial and divine realms and bring you back again. It's a really good one. So there you go. My top pick for Philosophical Club of the week, Wednesday, 13th of October, 2021, Through the Gates of the Silver Key by H.P. Lovecraft. This one's going a little long in the tooth. I see up there on the minute counter. We're about to hit the exit. I'm still trying to put together the video on Plum Blossom Lane. I got a couple of hours of footage. I want to cut it all down to about a 10-minute presentation. I went out yesterday and I shot some footage for my Xingyi Animal series, and I knocked out eagle, bear, and snake form. Like I was telling Captain Bree, in the tradition I learned, there is not a linked form for all 12 animals. You practice each animal individually and you learn them individually. Maybe there was a linked form, but I never learned it. I got all the way through what I thought was all of the Xingyi material, which is Black Sash level, and got up to Green Sash on Bagua. Never stuck around long enough to get my Black Sash. Shifu recommended 10 years in the study of Xingyi, 10 years in the study of Bagua, and then a lifetime study of Tai Chi Chuan. Yesterday when I was out practicing and shooting my video, an elderly guy, sprightly elderly guy, walked by, probably in his, I'd say, late 70s to early 80s, and he's like, "Oh, I see you're practicing the Grand Ultimate Fist, Tai Chi Chuan." And I thought to myself, no, I'm actually doing Xingyi Chuan, but I appreciate that you think it looks like Tai Chi. Xingyi, Bagua, and Tai Chi are all a part of the traditional internal arts of China. Those martial arts which were developed uniquely and distinctly in China by Chinese, based on Taoist principles and philosophy. So Bagua and Xingyi look very distinct from one another when you have an eye for it, but when you're doing them slow and someone just sees a little portion of what you're doing, it can easily be misconstrued for Taiji. So there you have it. We have arrived at the exit. I'd like to chat a little further on these vids, but once I get above the 10-minute mark, it just becomes nearly impossible to upload them to YouTube. So I'll just shoot this one for today. We have got very Lovecraftian weather this morning. You can almost feel the tendrils of Cthulhu. You know, it's time for, you know, we need to get in before we finish off on this one. We need to get in some yos. Hey, yo, let's get some yos out there. That really clears the palate. Keep punching. So I like to see some yos down in the comment box. I love y'all good looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. And I will see you in the abodes of the future. Good magic.